her flock around with her girlfriends, and she had guys hanging around her all the time, like doggone flies. You had to swat them off. Uh, and everybody loved her. Everybody. I mean, she was just the life of the party, and it seemed like she attracted people. She did her uh, dental assistant, and I forget the doctor that she worked with,
Dr.
but
Wise. I remember that.
yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Wise.
Wise. Yeah, and he was, oh man, he loved his whole office loved her, and or her his clientele just all loved Marge. She was just a pleasure. I ain't lying. She was a pleasure to be around. Now, don't get me wrong, she could get on your last nerve in a hurry if you didn't watch out. But she was always, jovial. She was always cutting up, laughing. The smile on her face kind of was always there, and she had that look like she was always uh, with heaven. Just loved every minute. And I remember that. Uh, People from all around, even as she started growing into her working years, working at the bank, working here, there, and yon, working for Lockheed. She had a following. She always had a following. I mean, and I never got that because and Chris had the same thing. And I don't know about Gloria because Gloria left so early, but I always had a hard time uh, mixing with people. I was the shy one, and maybe because I had the three older sisters and they were all so protective. Well, I lost my protection as I started getting older, and I didn't know how to get around. But uh, she didn't find. She was like Dad. Didn't have a minute's problem meeting a stranger, and then they did not. They were not a stranger anymore. Uh, she she was giving. Sometimes I thought she was too giving to a lot of her friends, and but she did it anyway. She was always, wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to do, and that was just Marge. Love her. I love her now, and I miss her. And I just know that, the way I see her now is I'm sorry that she passed, and I'm sorry that she passed alone. But we don't all go together. We all pass alone. And so we go on our own terms, we hope. She did. And that was something I think that you did for her, that if she could really speak to you now, she appreciates the fact that you did that for her. You let her left her in her own house to provide for herself best she could. And yes, I realized she kind of gave up on taking her meds and trying to eat, but that was what she wanted. She wanted to go on her own terms. And that was Marge. I mean, independent, oh my God. Headstrong, oh my God. Um, but that was Marge. And I I I know that now she is up there with Mom, Dad, Gloria, Benji, Aaron, Andrea, uh, everybody that has
Brennan.
passed before, Brennan, that has passed before her, that they're all together, up there joining. And the the one picture that I have in my mind is that I see her and Dad out there just dancing the jig,
Mm.
because I guarantee you they could dance up a storm.
Mm.
And I know Dad would dance with Mom, but when him and Marge got together, oh my God, they could rip up a floor and leave it on fire. I'm not kidding. They could dance like nobody's business. And Marge loved to dance. Oh my God, loved to dance. So I'm gonna miss seeing that, and I have missed seeing it since she's gotten sick. And I wished I could have seen it before she left, but at least I still have that memory. I've seen it uh, many times. So uh, she loved everybody here, and everybody here loved her and hated to see or hear that she was gone. So just my heart goes out to you, Tina, because you're left with only the memories, but that's all we have left. All of us, that's all we have left.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any much more to say about that other than I will miss her, and I look forward to being with her again one day, being together with all the family, my immediate family, mom, dad, you know, her, Gloria, and one of these days, myself and Chris. So we'll all be together again. And I look forward to that. Other than that, I just miss knowing that she's gone. I mean, I don't miss knowing she's gone. I miss her and knowing that she is now gone. It's a little hard to swallow at times, but life is that. That is life. So, um, do you have anything you want to inject?
Yeah, I'm just curious as to, mom got pregnant when she was really young. She was only 18, I guess, when she got pregnant, and then 19 when she had me, and then 21, I think, when she moved back with grandma and grandpa. What are those years like for her? She was so young. Like, I look back, let's see, if she was 19 when I was born. I mean, she was just, I can't even imagine, like, me. To this day, I couldn't even imagine being a parent that she had a baby to take care of, and raise, and put all of her, inject all of her, everything that she was, into me. What was y'all's, how did y'all see her and take that as a family?
Well, we opened our arms. We had to open our arms to help her out. Um, when she separated from Rick and came to live with mom and dad, I was still there. I stayed with mom and dad till I was 23. Couldn't give up mom and dad, I guess. But yeah, I don't remember how old I was when she moved back. If she was 21, I was 18.
Yeah.
So I was just, going through finishing up my high school years, trying to get through graduation and everything. So, but yeah, it was like nothing changed. We were all together again, so to speak, with you in tow, an extra little one. It was good to be around. She had a decent rapport with mom and dad and myself. We all just helped each other out. If Marge needed to do something and she couldn't afford to take you at that particular time, one of us stepped in. Chris, myself, mom, dad, if they could. So it was just the family. You know what I'm saying? The family was back together, helping each other out as we should.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you have any other questions?
No, I mean, that's kind of, yeah, I just wanted to see what your memories are. I have a lot of great memories of that time, of all of the family. So I just wanted to see, hear from your perspective, because I do remember I spent a lot of time with you. I do remember spending a lot of time with you. So I just wanted to know, just from your perspective, from my perspective, I just feel like that mom had a chance to be young because she knew I was going to be well taken care of with the family, and she could go and do some fun stuff as a young woman, and she knew I was well cared for. So, yeah, so
No,
those are good times.
that's a good way to put it. And she did have time to spread her wings, so to speak, because we were there to help when she wanted to go out. We were there to take up the slack and take care of you. And it just she did get her she did have her young age, so to speak. Yes, she had you when she was young, but she was still young enough that 21, 22, 23, she could still go out and have a good time, and no one held it against her. She was young. She was needed to let her hair down, so to speak, and be herself. So yeah, I remember those times too. Oh, Tina, I got so many memories I could fill a book, and I know that's you only want you want to put the little tidbits in there. So
I'll take all
it,
the tidbits, Theo. I mean, I think that, I mean, just so you know, like, I don't, I was telling Thea, I don't think I told you, but, I didn't really put two and two together. I knew mom was a writer. I always known she was very good with poems and stuff when I was a kid, but I didn't really put two and two together as I started writing that really, that is something that I didn't learn from her, but they're things that are in your DNA that come out at some point. And I've been writing a lot. I've written a lot in the last 10 or 15 years, and people have told me for like 15 years, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And at some point I'll be able to compile all of this into a memoir of who I am, Theo. This is my identity, knowing about my mother and being able to piece together my identity is powerful for me. I think everyone should be able to take that time to understand who they are, where they came from, and what's made them them. But I just have a gift for being able to categorize large amounts of information and then write it and then now share it with the world, not our intimate secrets, but I craft it in a way that to help other people. So yeah, I'll take all the stories.
well, and it's not that I don't want to give it to you. I know what you're trying to do. You're wanting to make kind of a
Composite.
eulogy, or yeah, and you don't want all of that right now because it would be too much. But if you ever really want to sit down again and do your writing, oh, I'm sorry, and do your writing, I can probably inject some more stories in there for you for your book or whatever you decide to do, and that way you'd have it for later reference.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but I was just trying to give you kind of hit the highlights right now so that you can do your eulogy or whatever it is that you wanted to put in there. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, to make it a little bit more concise, so it's not somebody doesn't have to read a book to say, oh, that was March.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So,
for us. To me, Theo, I think I don't ever really dig into a eulogy anyway or an obituary. I'm not like, I'm just kind of scanning it anyway. So, really, I feel like that memory of a eulogy or even an obituary is for the family. And for me, I feel like, yeah, somebody might read it. Probably very few will read the full thing, even whether it's short or long. So, I'm going to just take it from a perspective of what do I want it to say? What do I want to remember? And what do y'all
yeah,
what would a y'all, because I know that y'all will eventually read it, probably more once, twice, and maybe even the cousins will read it. Because mom is a part of their legacy as well through y'all, through the Theos and the Theas. So if I'm able to take this piece and give it to the family, then I'd like to.
yeah, no, that's good. Um, I guess you find yourself trying to go through the memory banks of your own head and trying to remember because once again I knew her for 68 years, and trying to go back to year one to year 12 or 13 or 16 or 18, you know there's so many things that you could say. I mean, Doug and Steve Davis and Doug Keys, they just loved her. Both of them wanted to marry her. And Angel Albizu, I don't know if you remember him. He liked her real well. Dennis liked her real well. George Barbola, Ricky. She had so many guys that mom and dad finally had to tell them, get the heck out of here. They didn't need a bunch of guys hanging around. But that was Marge. She drew people, not just guys. She drew people to her like flies to honey.
Dude, why do you think
So
she never got married? Like, she married Rick, but then at from 2 to 51, for me, she was single. So that's what, 49 years for 951.
yeah,
How come she never got married, from your perspective?
I think she never got married because she never really found the guy she wanted, except for one that I can think of. And he was already married, and he would have been good for her, but he was already married and he didn't want to leave his wife. So I just feel like when you don't find the love that you're looking for, the love that you think is the love of your life, you don't want to settle. There's no need to settle. And that's not to say she didn't have boyfriends through all those years, but that's what I think. I mean, I can't really actually tell you what was her thought because I never really asked her. I just took it, with a grain of salt and let it go. People don't know. You don't know how to ask questions, and you don't know how they're going to react if you ask them. And I never really wanted to get on Margie's bad side, so I wouldn't ask her. Why haven't you gotten married? And I think the biggest thing she'd say is, haven't found him yet. Oh, okay. So she was testing the water, so to speak,
Right.
with all her boyfriends. And she just never found the right one, except for the one I'm thinking about is Leo. You remember
Right.
Leo?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one I'm thinking about is I think she'd have married him if she'd have had a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes, I hear that. And Sue mentioned that the other day, that the girls, Wendy had said, I bet you if mom had have married Leo, she'd still be here today. And
Oh yeah.
I don't, yeah, I didn't acknowledge it one way or another because mom had reconnected with Leo some years ago, and he'd had a stroke. If I recall, he'd had a stroke. And but I can't remember. Oh, I know why. He reached out right after she let Donnie move in. And mom, she's a woman of her word and loyal. She's so loyal. And so she told me, she's like, Tina, even though I wanted to be with Leo, I just let Donnie move in and I couldn't flip flop, And I'm like, dang, I would have. I would have. I'd been like, bro, you got to get out. But that's what she
It it
told me.
it would have been excuse me, it would have been better for her to do that. You
Absolutely.
can't worry about someone else's feelings. You got to worry about your own sometimes. And Marge was always concerned with other people's feelings to a degree.
Yeah,
And that's just the way we were raised. So taking his feelings into account, that was a big mistake.
I agree. I agree. And even Kat had said yesterday when Kat and I were talking, she's like, that Donnie, I don't remember, she did not use good language. And she's not vulgar at all, but she's like, I don't know, she used something like some derogatory words for him. So he was, and she's like, I don't think, because we were talking about, the things that mom went through. I was like, yeah, I don't think Donnie ever physically abused her because by that time I was a woman and he would have had some stuff to contend with. I said, but he just he emotionally abused her. She's like, yeah, and then she was telling me some stories about the shenanigans that he was pulling for the majority of the time that he was with her. So, it's just I don't know. We don't know. Mom knows for sure. But she felt that she needed to be loyal to her decision, and I know what that feels like. I felt like that with Ken. Like I needed to be loyal to my decision, and I wasted 8+ years of my life being loyal to my decision. And I look back and I'm like, why the hell did I do that? What
Yeah.
made me feel like so loyal when he wasn't loyal to me? So, you know what? I don't know. Live and learn. I grew up and I've grown up since then, and I feel like I would not do that again. I have different perspective, but that yeah, it's too bad. Like it's just too bad because I did want mom to I had told mom in the last few years, I'm like, Mom, let's get you on Bumble or let's get you on a dating app. No, I don't need to be doing that. And mom had decided to be celibate for the last 20 years. She was celibate and wanting to be closer to God. And so I'm proud of her and excited for her that she was able to get close to God. We all have our individual journey with with what we believe and what's in our hearts. I don't think anybody can speak for someone else, but I know mom would talk to me and tell me, how close she was with God. So, I wanted I wanted to always impose I just listened in last night, Theo, to a journal entry from 2001, and I even said that in my journal is like I was like, this is funny. I was like, of all the people, I can influence anybody to do anything, and I can convince somebody enough that they will go my direction and I can lead people. And I was like, and then why is it that the only person who doesn't listen to me or that I can't influence her decisions is my mother? And as I'm talking to myself through this, I'm like, I don't understand that. But I was even grappling with all of this back in 2001. I went back and looked and I was like, wow, I was having the same feelings I was having last month I was having in 2001, and that was imposing my decision making, imposing my will upon her. And even then I was saying, you know what? The doctors want to impose their will on her. This is something I was talking about to myself in 2001. I was like, I just, in that visit, because I recounted it, I said, all I told the doctors is every time we come in here, you're getting onto her for not taking her medicine. You're getting onto her for not doing this, that, and the other. I was like, today, all I want you to do is affirm her that she's doing the best she can in her way. And I don't want to hear any complaints from you. And I put that back into my journal. I was like, nothing. And so then that's what they did. They gave her, I was like, I don't care what she's doing wrong. I want you to tell her what she's doing right. And we went into that visit and I was like, you know what? I just wanted her to not have to be, every time we come out of these doctor's appointments, she's so stressed out and I'm so stressed out and I'm getting on to her and I'm yelling at her because she's not doing anything right or everything right. And I was just like, I was done with it in 2001 and I didn't even realize it, that I was done focusing on all the stuff she wasn't doing right, and I was only trying to focus on what she was doing right. And so I appreciate you saying that, Theo, but to be able to go back and listen to my own account of what was going on, you're right. I just stopped all the nonsense of whatever everybody wanted her to do, meaning the doctors and such. And I was just like, let's just let her be happy. Nobody wants to be bitched at all the time. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted her to get married. I wanted her, she asked me, she wanted babies. I was like, and she asked me that when she was still young enough to have a baby. I was like, Mom, you're young enough to have a baby. You have the baby. She's like, just have the baby, Tina, and then I'll take care of it. I was like, I cannot have a baby and give it to you. Like, that is not going to work for me. So I was like, Mom, just you have a baby. She's like, no, I'm not going to have a baby. And I was like, okay, well, then we're going to have no babies in this house. So anyway,
I finally got your video. I can see you now.
well, there you go.
Yeah, I
You,
figured it out.
you
But
figured it
anyway,
out.
yeah, I always wish that she had gotten married again. I really did. Um, we all should live a happy life, and to live a really happy life. And same with you. We was always wondering, when we were gonna see you walking down the aisle again, and you're happier generally with someone. You know what I'm saying? And Marge was happy all the time, but I think she would have been more happy had she had someone to share her life with. And it's sad to think that she missed out on that with whomever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it would have been good to see her with someone else.
Yeah, because when she
And,
broke up
and I,
with
I
Donnie,
wish I wish I could have answered that question better for you, but I don't have any idea why she never really got married again.
I don't know either.
Other than, other than the fact that she didn't find the right one other than Leo, and Leo was kind of at a distance, you know what I'm saying? At
Yeah.
arm's length. And
Well,
I
she was
liked
still
Leo.
young,
I didn't have
you know,
a
Theo.
thing.
If I look back, because I did a timeline on Tuesday morning at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up and I was just timelining. But when she broke up with Donnie, she was just 50 because she's been single for 20 years or celibate for 20 years. So 50, 60, 70. So she broke up with Donnie when she was my age. So young enough to have still gone out, dated, but she just wanted to have peace at that point. I know that part. Like, she's like, I'm peaceful. And even with Dennis in the last year that Dennis has been reaching out to her, I would ask her, I was like, Mom, he just wants to take you out on a date. And she's like, I don't know. Like, I'm peaceful. I'm peaceful. And, Theo, that's something that we can be happy that she felt peaceful and not having to be fussing with a man. She fussed with a man for most of her life, and she's like, no more fussing with men. So that's all I know. But I just wanted to know why you thought that she never got married. Because I've asked her many times, that she dated that Fernando guy, and why did she not marry him? And she's like, oh, he wanted to send you off to boarding school. I was like, okay. She's like, I was not having you sent off nowhere. So she's like, I broke up with him. That was a red flag for me. Okay. So I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I,
But
I forgot about Fernando. Yeah, he was a pretty cool guy to me. He seemed to like me real well, but I knew his sister. I went to school with his sister as well, and I always wondered why they split up, but now I know,
yeah,
and I don't blame her. You shouldn't take over a family that's already together and then want to break them up because you want to possess one thing. That's not right. You have to accept he would have gone in knowing you were part of that family, and he didn't need to want to break it up.
right. Yep.
So yeah, but I think you're right. She didn't want the hassle after when she was 50 and got rid of. I mean, her and Donnie broke up. I can understand because she didn't want the hassle of having to deal with someone else at that age. Didn't want to take on their problems, didn't want to do anything. She just wanted to live her own life in peace and harmony, even if it was by herself, but that was her.
Yeah.
So I wish I had a better answer for you, but I think that's about it.
I think so too. I think so too. And I thought I've thought about it for me as well. I'm like, why have I been single? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to end up like my mom. And I'm like, oh, now I realize in the last week that I just never really. There's times I feel alone. And, I've gone through my breakups, but I didn't ever feel real alone until mom was gone. I always knew that I could call mom and mom would be there. So I never really felt alone, even though I would maybe, go and not talk to her for a long time if I was going through my depression or whatever. But it wasn't until I woke up on Tuesday morning that I realized that, wow, now I feel why I haven't felt the need to make myself be in a relationship, because I had mom. And And so it's just different now. And, every day for the last year at least, she's like, "Have you found yourself a fella yet?" And maybe she was worried that I mean, how do moms know that I would feel that big void in my life when she was gone that I didn't feel. I never felt compelled to need to fill that void because I could wake up and I could call my mom on a Saturday and just say, "Hey, mom, I'm coming over. I'm going to come pick you up. And, we're going to go whatever. We're going to do whatever." And I would take her for a ride, Theo, in the park. Um, I always like to eat at the Esperanzas in the hospital district. And when we were coming back, I usually try to go through Trinity Park because it's so pretty, and I'd take her and ride through there. She never wanted to get off, but it didn't matter to me. We just went on a joyride, and those things now I feel like, the first thing I wanted to do, like on Tuesday, I was like, I just want somebody to bring me some soup. It's the little things. I was like, I just want some soup and a hug. I just need a hug, and not a hug from y'all or, it was like I need a big bear hug from a man or my mom. And
Yeah.
so that's what it felt like. And so I wouldn't be surprised if I don't end up married really fast. And
Yeah. That's
not
what
in
it
a
sounds
bad
like.
way, not in like I'm rushing to get married, but I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't crack my heart open and let a man in. I mean, it's very hard for them to get past that shell because I have the confidence and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't need this or I don't need that. And I don't say it out loud, but I mean, definitely it shows. But I just think that this is like, it's like it's like a little hammer. Like if you think of an egg, I feel like there's like a little hammer hammering into my heart to like crack it open. So yeah, I would not be surprised and it was it's been my intention for a while, but I just felt like I needed to be healthy enough to make the right decision to choose the right person. And I shared with you, I've had a lot of counseling. I feel like I can see the red flags and I know what looks right and what looks wrong. And that's a lot where mine came from, Theo, is that I had a lot of unsurety. I don't understand what a good relationship looks like because I haven't really seen one, up close and personal. And so I'm like, I don't know what a marriage is supposed to look like. And so those were the things that would that I had, I guess, a fear of. Unsure. I don't think it wasn't fear. It's that I'm like, I can't get into a relationship if I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And, with Ken, he was always really hard on me that, and I was like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. He's like, how can you not know? I'm like, I don't know how I cannot know. I'm just being honest. I don't know. So, he was obviously not the right person, somebody that doesn't take the time to teach you or to guide you. And so now when I meet a man, I'm just honest. I'm like, first of all, I grew up every day. Somebody told me I was pretty and smart. And I had everything handed to me. So that's the first thing you got to know. And I'm not a great communicator. So you're going to have to take your time and be patient because I want to, but but I need to be led. So, but I think that now that I'm more able to be communicative with my thoughts and feelings out loud, then I think that it'll be easier for a man to love me because then he's going to know how to, and what I need.
Well, he'll know the real you.
Right.
And you're like you said, what your needs are. And he'll be better to provide you with that need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Because
cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
it's funny that you say mom had no shortage of men, falling over themselves for you. And that's what I would tell mom. She's like, "Yeah, have you some a fella yet?" I was like, "Mom, yes, a lot of them." "No, you're not dating anybody. Nobody's asking you to get married." "Yes, mom, they're all asking me to get married." Like I have no shortage of men that will like fall over themselves for me or say, "Tina, will you marry?" Every year I have somebody falling over themselves to ask me to marry them, and I'm like, "You're not the one." I appreciate it, but no. And no, I won't even have to date them, Theo, and they're asking me to marry them, not without even dating them. So I hear you that what mom, experienced as well. And so you know, I just aim to do it just a little better than mom did it.
Yeah, if you could actually go back to her yearbooks from high school, I bet you would find so many sayings, so many people say they love her, and guys wanting to date her, wanting to, be with her. And so, I mean, uh, I didn't have that. I had to really, would you sign my annual?
Okay.
But everybody would probably step up to the plate. I mean, she probably had a line around the block so they would sign her annual.
I
Uh,
love that you just told me that because I have two of them. I don't know how many were at the house, but I took two of them. They're in the purple bins, and I'm gonna go dig those out and look at them. Never
yeah, and I
never
bet
even thought of that.
and I bet you could probably go through there and see a lot of pictures that she would be in that annual. She was always, part of something, wanted to be part of something.
Okay.
So just a thought,
I love
that,
that. I would have never thought of that, Theo.
well, yeah, I think of looking through mine too every once in a while, and, remembering, because now this year is my 50th anniversary of being out of high school.
I know I heard you talking to your buddy about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So uh, pretty neat. But that might give you some insight as to what she was like in high school.
Yeah, it will. It'll give me a lot of insight. Okay, well, I feel good. I feel good.
Well, I hope I gave you something that you can kind of chew on there a little bit, and give you a little, not ammunition, but just a little information so that you will know what you want to say and how you want to say it. And once again, I can't say it enough. Marge was the life of the party, always wanted to be in the mix, and there was nothing wrong with that. That was just her. And she had the beauty, she had the look, she had the personality, she had it all, So that was Marge.
I love it. How's Thea?
She's fine. She's over here cleaning. I don't know what she's getting ready for tomorrow, Easter.
Oh, that's right. Are y'all having company?
No, I think it's just gonna be Esther and I and Ben. Just I didn't. We have. I had two invitations, one tonight, and one for tomorrow, and I really don't want to be around anybody. As it was, we went to Denton yesterday, and with Esther's cousin, and it turned out okay. I finally loosened up, but I didn't really want to go, and but it turned out all right. So I'm glad it worked out. But as far as being with anybody, I just want it to be the family, because you can't have enough family time. I really know that you can't have enough family time.
I hear you. Okay, well, if she's not in the room, then that's fine. I was just going to tell her that, uh,
Oh, hey Esther, she wants to show you her book, the book. Where you at?
hi, Thea.
She's coming.
Hi, Tina.
Thank
Oh,
And
you're
then
very
look,
welcome.
Thea.
She's actually started writing a whole bunch in
Oh
there.
my
Anyway.
goodness. Well, I I keep tell Larry and Ben do the whole house, good Lord willing. Hopefully, I can get all myself together beforehand. But there is so much. I mean, like the binders of writing and things that I always keep a notebook here and there for things. Because spending time with people, uh, that's what we're all about. The love, the fruits of the spirit, just refining all these things. So it's just really good to embrace those things, Tina. It really is. And so I know you had that with your mom, and she was that kind of person. She was an embracing uh, star. When people looked at that for her, and uh, she knew, how to entertain folks without even knowing that she was. So, yeah,
I like
absolutely.
that.
So absolutely. And that is, we are made, the Lord made us all so unique, Tina, that some of us really shine in some of our talents and skills. And yes, it's very important that we express ourselves and not hold on to those things, especially as you grow older. You experience these things that are about you, tells you who you are. So, it's time to get out and, you know, get your feet wet and embrace those things that God has given you. And that's who your mom was. I think pretty much you knew her character. And as she grew older, she would build on that. And, she knew about her experiences. And I think she evaluated those things herself. And it made her who she was as she, grew older in her life. But she definitely loved you, honey. There's no doubt.
Oh yeah,
Everywhere, everything was about her
Tina, her little Tina
beautiful,
bug.
and those words. She always used that, her beautiful Tina. And so just, just remember that, Mihai. Just, keep it in your heart and who you are, because you are a part of her and she's left that, with you. So when you're feeling, you're missing mom, go to the mirror, look at yourself, and just thank God that you had your mom, and we learn things from all walks of life, Mihai, and that's what she did. She learned things from all walks of life, and you know that she cherished your grandparents and her siblings, and so that was a firm foundation for her. And you too, sweetie. So she wasn't, like you said, you guys weren't alone because y'all stood really strong together. But because God has called her home, doesn't mean that you have to stand alone, because you don't, hun. You don't. Okay? So just know that. And that is one of the qualities she always talked about. My mija, she had her, things, but you know what? She is a strong girl. She's a strong woman. So, and I agree. So just hold on to those things, honey.
I
We
will.
love you.
Yeah. I love you too. Thank you, Thea. I appreciate it. And one, I thank you for sharing with me that, because I know your mom had y'all's intimate moments together, and so I appreciate. Oh, I was talking to her. Can she hear me?
No, I'm talking to you, Esther. Here she comes.
I know y'all had y'all's intimate moments together, and so yeah, no, I just appreciate you sharing that, and so that means a lot to me. I mean, y'all
Yes,
kind of grew up together, y'all were all very young.
yes, absolutely. Oh, I can remember your Theo, Larry, and I when we were first dating, and we'd come to the house. Larry'd say, I've got to stop at the house," and I'd say, "Okay," and there was Marge, beautiful as always, getting ready for something, and just letting us know who she'd been with, or where she was going. And she said, "But Mika and I had to go out, do stuff, because I knew I was going to have this appointment or engagement or whatever, and I wanted to make sure that I had some time with her." So, that was always sweet. That was always sweet to me, because she was very young still, even, when Theo and I got married.
Yeah.
So I understand, and it's just a part of who we are. It takes time. It's a journey that we take, and it takes time for us to gather things in our lives, and that's what you're doing. As you walk that path, it's gathering things that work, and then just kind of leaving the things that don't work. And then seeking out resources and things that you can build yourself to be, everything that you feel that you should be, Miha. And I think that's, your mom did that, sweetie.
She did. So Thea, I know you always have great pictures and stuff. So I think I got some pictures from y'all, but I'm putting together eventually, not today or anything, but probably by next week, I'm going to start working on compiling pictures into a video. And so if you want to share any pictures, just scan them in. You can use your phone. I can teach you how to do that, or Ben can teach you how to do that. You can take a picture and make a really good copy of it on scan and then send it to me, and I can include whatever it is that y'all want included in the video, then I can include those in the video.
Okay.
Okay?
Hey, on the pictures that I sent when you were asking for pictures that day,
Mhm.
do you remember seeing the one with Marge, your mom, and Chris standing in front of the 1200 block house?
Yes, I
She
have that
was
one.
2.5 and Chris was 3.5 or something like that.
Yes.
I think that's an awesome picture.
It is so cute. It's so cute. So any other pictures that y'all want to share? I have only probably pictures from when I was young to, from that time through probably the 70s, 80s, and maybe 90s is where some of the pictures that Mom had given me a few years ago. So I'm not going to really have, I don't know. I don't know what's in there. I've looked at them. I love looking at pictures, but I've not really looked at them in a mindset of where I am now. So
Okay, well, we'll take a look and see what we can come up with. Maybe
what
we can help you with that.
we as a family thank God, we have no shortage of pictures. I just want to give y'all the opportunity to include what's important to you.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. All right, y'all. I love you.
Love you too. You
Thank
take
you.
care, and we're here for you if you need us for anything.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right. Well, you
Okay.
take care. Love you, and God bless you. Thank you
Love,
for thinking of us.
love you too.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.